What's going on, everybody? Slangdutch here, and today we're working on the Civic. Now why, you may ask? Part 3 of the build. But the only thing is, I was planning to do this mod a little bit later because we had these shitty Fiat Punto wheels on it. But we wanted to do like the bodywork first, give it a color, and then as sort of cherry on the cake, swap the wheels. I already had the wheels for it because they were on the CRX, also, but only the tires weren't good. But I had the tires also just laying ready to go on. But I first wanted to do the color of the car. But unfortunately, I fitted the steering wheel and then I drove home, and it was all driving straight. This was the old steering wheel of the CRX that I had, and I thought this was better than the original. So I put that one in. And it was driving fully straight, nothing wrong. And then the next day it was pulling to the right, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Turns out I had a flat tire on the passenger side, right side. So this is the day we're gonna move the wheel video a little bit forward. There we go. I still had some body clubs laying around. So, those are not painted yet. They're still white. And they have some scuffs on them. So if you look at them up close, like it has a little spot on them. And I'm just gonna leave them like this because they just need to function. As soon as the color of the car is done, I'm gonna repaint these, make them all clean and nice. So it's still sort of the last thing on the car that really makes it pop. But I don't know about you guys, but compared to those wheels, these look so good on the Civic. So I have 2 more of them, but just not installed yet because, and that's the warning for you guys, I had aluminium lug nuts and they were on the CRX and they were just on there for storage because I didn't really want to drive on them because after you use them for 5-6 times, they not go on well and they tend to bend a little bit. I see the one in the top corner, the right top corner is a little bit bent. But I had to put them on because I didn't have the tire, a full tire. So I took the set of the lug nuts of the CRX. I searched out 8 of the good ones of the full set. And I only did the front axle. So this front wheel is on and this front wheel is on. Because this one was the one that was flat. But I couldn't use the original lug nuts because if you see those holes, they're just, they just barely fit. And if you have the original lug nuts that have somewhat of a washer or something around it, they do not fit. So I got myself a set of steel lug nuts. So learn from me, kids, never buy aluminium lug nuts. Even if they're cheap from AliExpress or if they have fancy colors, it doesn't matter. So I can swap the shitty ones out, put new ones in, can do the rear wheels, and as you have already heard, I don't like the stance of the car at the moment because at the front it's good, might even be too low, but we'll see later. But that's how it sits now, and the rear is just a little bit, it's raking forward just a little bit, and I don't mind a little bit of front end squat, but I want to see if I can take something off of those springs. We're just gonna take the rear off the ground, take the coilovers out, which is a pretty easy job, and then take the springs out and see what we can do. So those go on the back. Let's just swap out the studs at the front first. So that is all said and done. I do not trust these. Shitty. So we have new ones. Let's see. Oh, they go on so nice. Now just torque them. I don't even need that one. That's gonna be way better for the looks. I had them in black and chrome, but I think black was a better option than the chrome. So I turned the car around. One rear coilover is out. And me thinking, because it sits in that top and it's not fully flat, I can just cut it here. Take like 1, 2, 3, third ring. Because the worst case scenario, it's too low and then I have all this thread to still wind it up. So this part is also not hitting this part or this part, because this thing is not meant for this. Also the coilovers are originally from an EG, but they do fit on an EK. But that's the reason that doesn't go any lower. So I'm gonna take the top head off and then cut the spring, see how it sits. Also I had these spacers laying around. They're very small, like 5 mil, but it's a little bit extra. I did the fronts already. It's on there with the new lug nuts that don't stick out. I think that's a good look, I would say. But also fitment wise, I don't know, 10 mil in total on the whole axle, but it's a little bit better. So coilovers are out of the car and I took the top hat off, and as you can see it just ends like this. So we can just take that and just go cut here, cut here, cut here, cut here, how low, wherever we want to go. And the thing is, I want to go lower than I want to, because then I can wind this one up, because if it's not low enough I cannot go lower on this. So I'd rather have a little bit of adjustment. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. I mean, if this compresses, it's like that much of space. So 1, 2, 3. Should we do 4? And also, as you can see, there's a lot of dirt and nastiness in this, but you wipe that off and it's clean. There's no rust. People grease up your coilovers when installing them, so you have adjustability. And it works. And if you want to sell them, you don't have to sell seized coilovers that you're gonna, yeah, they still work and fucked up, and you know, everyone knows how it works. Just a little bit of copper grease and just spray them in, and you know, then they look nasty, but it keeps all the water out. So, the new one. That's not gonna be any problem, I think. Because this still has that little cubby there where it sits in, so if you just line that up, it should be right about there. This is going to be compressed in the car. That will sit there. Oh. Now it has some space, but as soon as it's in the car it will compress, and we can also twist this thing up and make it sit flush, but leave it for now. Let's just put this one on, this one on. This is a lot easier this way. And let's just adjust a little bit of preload in the car. Just gonna do that to the other one, drop them in the car and see where we're at. One side is on, still need to drop it though. So let's do the other side real quick. The ring works. There we go. That's in. Done. And then we use this little thing. It goes under here. Pushes the whole control arm up so I can get the camber arm in. Like a glove. Put the spacer on, which is nothing more than just that, and I have enough thread wear left so I can run a 5, and it's just a 5 mil spacer. I mean, it's nothing, but it's just, you know, every little bit helps. So let's just wind this one a little bit up, because I did the same to that one, so there's a little bit more preload, because there's A little bit, but let's just let's see where we're at. So everything is under. This is not done yet, but let's just see how she sits. Drop more. I know you can go further. Wait, still on the handbrake from tightening the wheels. Is it lower? Maybe a little bit. Doesn't really look that much lower, is it? There's less rake though, it's better. And maybe you just need to also, come to think of it, this is a 15 inch, the previous wheel was a 16 inch, so they were a little bit more, because indeed if you look at the side skirt of the car, it's not raking as much as it did. Still a little bit, but should be all good. So as I was fitting up the trunk back together, I noticed that the spoiler, usually there's a bolt there, was not attached, and it's just attached by that bolt and one at the front, because I can just move the whole thing. You know what? The wheels are not a surprise anymore. Boomex spoiler time, baby. Let's just make the panels and everything worthy, put everything on, and then worry about all the other stuff in the paint later. We're just gonna throw this baby on. Let's just unpack it. So here it is, the beautiful Boomex wing. I love these, and you know, just if you haven't seen them before, just have to wait for the result. Hello, Mr. Spoiler. Now you're still attached to a third brake light and a windshield washer. Now, the washer is no use for me, and I think I'm gonna cut this and leave this plug in, because normally you can undo it here, but I wanna keep this seal, because otherwise water is gonna go into the trunk. That's what we don't want. This is how they resonate, just little taps on them. But then they could have screwed the screw in here just to secure it, but you know, why do something good if you can do it half-assed, apparently. Now we have this little strip as a final to go on, sort of clip it in place. That's all done. Close this one off. Now look at that. These wheels, that spoiler, can you imagine it? Everything in one color paint. I'm just gonna roll this thing out to have a little bit more daylight shots of this, because woo! How good does it look though? I'm in love with these cars, and especially now with these wheels. And the spoiler, yes, that's super cool. It all needs to be in one color. The spoiler is going to be matching the body color, so it pops out a little bit more, because now in black it just doesn't do it justice, I think. But a lot of work to do. But these are sort of the goodies that we were planning. I moved them now a little bit forward. At least it's now somewhat good looking, the car. But it needs a lot more love and attention. Fenders, doors, welding, fenders at the rear, and then wrap it a color. Somebody in the comments of a previous video already almost guessed it, but I wanna, let's not look into the light or blind you guys with the light. I want to thank each and everyone for watching. If you want to see more of the Civic build, because it's gonna get like better and better from this point. Me looking at it like this, it's already like it has a great stance. So if you want to see more of the Civic build, subscribe to the channel, like this video if you liked it, please leave a comment, it helps me out. And if you want to see more on the CRX belt that it builds, that is soon gonna start, that will also be soon starting, because I don't know if the video is out before this or after, but I made the trench better and put some flooring in there, so I can really start working on this gruttiness and really fix this up. BMW content coming as well. I got an extra set of drift wheels, drift spares. But for now, thanks for watching and I hope you enjoyed this video. Peace!